Hey everybody, welcome back to the Modern Customer Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Morgan. Today my guest is Kristi Faltorusso. Kristi is the Chief Customer Officer at ClientSuccess, a customer success platform that helps SaaS companies manage customers, reduce churn, and maximize revenue. Kristi has spent the past 12 years building, scaling, and transforming customer success teams in the B2B space. Today, we are talking about how to approach client success. We're talking about how Kristi personally creates a ton of customer experience content that has really improved her social media following and her engagement on social. And we talk about customer and client experience in general, some of the trends, and what she anticipates will be the future of customer success. Please enjoy Kristi Faltorusso. Kristi, it's so nice to finally meet you. I've heard so many good things about you. Your audience loves you. You have one of the highest engagement numbers out of any of the client or customer success thought leaders. So congrats on all your success. We have kind of similar stories. I used to live in New York City. I no longer live there, but tell us the story. How did you become interested in customer and client experience?
Yeah, definitely accidental. I always talk about my career through like act one and act two. So the first 10 years of my career, I spent in marketing. I thought I'd be like a chief marketing officer one day, and like that was my journey. And later in my career, working in house, I started using a technology called Bright Edge, which was a search engine optimization platform, a SaaS product. And I had used it at two different companies. I was a huge fan of it because it helped me be so successful in my work. And so I basically reached out to the CEO one day and I was like, hey, listen, if you ever open an office in New York, hire me. I will come work for you and I will make your customers as successful as I've been. And they were based in San Mateo, California. They still are. And in November 2012, they opened an office in New York and they brought me on board and I was their third hire and accidentally fell into customer success. And now, mind you, at the time, I didn't even know what SaaS was. Like, I didn't know what CSMing was. I was like, this is so weird. But I knew the product really well and I knew the work that I did. And so I was able to just really leap into it as a subject matter expert and kind of stumbled my way all the way from a CSM to a chief customer officer.
Yeah. I think what the thing I noticed the most about you is just your energy. You have a lot of energy and you have really good energy. I feel like people in this space need to have high energy because client work is challenging. It's stressful. So I can just tell you have that customer focused mindset that I always talk about. What do you think makes you really good at your job?
Oh gosh. I think, listen, there's so many things that are so critical to anyone being successful in this role, but I would say I definitely think it's my customer focused mindset and approach to this. At the end of the day, everything we do is for our customers. And so I've always taken the approach of designing outside in, not inside out, right? Putting myself in the shoes of a customer because I was a customer first, right? That's how I broke into customer success. So it was easy for me to say, well, as a customer, what did I enjoy? What did I need? How did I want to be supported? And I've kind of kept that mindset throughout my professional journey over the past 5 companies I've been in. And I think it served me really well, to be honest with you. And so I felt designing for the customer and operating with them at the forefront of everything I've done has obviously been advantageous for the businesses that I've supported.
So I get asked this question all the time, Kristi. What is the difference between customer service and client success?
Ooh, okay. So I'm going to break it down simply because I think that there's a lot of rabbit holes we could take this down. If we're thinking about customer or like client service, customer support, depending on what world you're operating in, because all are a little different, I'm going to say it's a difference between being reactive and proactive. Mm-hmm. If you've got this service mindset, you're kind of working when your customers are coming to you inbound, right? And you're helping them solve problems. When you're thinking about customer success, and then customer experience is a whole other thing, but customer success, we're operating around our customers' goals and business objectives and designing a framework to help them achieve those goals through the partnership. So it's definitely more consultative. There is more of a focus around your customer and their outcomes and less on this kind of reactive motion of solving immediate problems.
Okay, so you guide them through a framework. Is that something that you've created or that your company created before you got there? What does it look like?
So I've been with my current organization, ClientSuccess, for almost 4 years now. And so I will definitely say that what we do today is very much my blueprint. But what we've done is we've designed an operating model that allows us to, one, lean into our customers, find out who they are, why they purchased our software, what they expect from the partnership, how they expect to be receiving results and what the impact is, and then making sure that we are guiding them along a journey to help them use the product to achieve just that. So very much our journey is orchestrated around who they are and where they are, because I think that makes a big difference as well, right? If we just bucket all of our customers based on who they are, they're all starting from a different place. I've got some customers who have been, doing what they're doing for a long time, and other customers who are just trying to figure it out. So by understanding who they are and where they are, we can design kind of an orchestrated journey that helps them be successful.
In a perfect world, Kristi, I feel like every company would have client success or customer success. But in the SaaS world, it's a staple, it's a common practice. Why do you think that the SaaS world has embraced client and customer success so passionately?
I'm going to be very bold as to say it's because products
Yeah.
suck. And I say that because, listen, if every product was super intuitive and so easy and just simple to adopt and drive value from, you probably wouldn't need somebody to help guide you through it, right? Think about how many solutions we use every single day, apps on our phone that don't require us to have a designated person guiding us through it and figuring out how to use it. But because of the complexity that is the SaaS world, right, and some of the software that's out there, it requires somebody to help guide them through that, right? How do we understand what our customers are trying to do and then help them do it? And so I think that model has become reliant on customer success. I do believe that if products were built differently, with different intentions, we'd probably need less support from people, but I think that just our world has become so complex in terms of the software and technology that it just requires teams to help orchestrate that.
What are some of the questions that your customers are asking you? Are they asking about AI? Are they needing hand holding with these new technologies and new advances?
I would say that AI is probably a part of every single conversation we're having these days. And because every company right now is trying to figure out how they should be thinking about AI. And I think the interesting thing is that you've got people that have demands and expectations that are moving a little bit faster or in kind of greater demand than technologies can innovate, right? So you've got something moving a little bit faster than the other. Technology will catch up. But I think the big thing that we're working with our customers on now is helping them understand how they can use tools that are available, like a ChatGPT, and come up with interesting use cases and workflows around it. So I do a lot of coaching and training around how you can treat tools like that as your personal assistant. Instead of thinking about just ways to drive efficiency in workflows, treat it as if you were asking somebody to do something for you, right? And this level of complexity and depth, and being able to pull AI into that model and really help you get more value from it. So we're having tons of conversations around it from a just how do we think about it strategically, but then from a technology standpoint, I will tell you it's very much a big part of our roadmap and everything I'm talking to our product teams about. So I think on both sides of it, internally and externally, AI is just very much the forefront right now.
And you mentioned workflows. I mean, that's such a big piece of your world. Is that something you have to spend a lot of time thinking through the workflows of your clients, or do they bring these problems to you and they ask you for help with them?
People don't know what they don't know, right? So you've got a lot of folks who know that they can be getting value from AI, but they are not quite sure how to think about it. And it's still new. And this is no one's full-time job. Well, it's not their full-time job. And so what we're having to do is help them rethink their business. So we spend a lot of time consulting with our customers and helping them understand, like, what are you trying to do? What is the outcome you're trying to drive to? And then figure out ways that we can help weave in AI into that for them. Just a lot of people are really still struggling to figure out, like, how do you even create really good prompts, right? Like, how do I get the output out of AI that I know is possible? And so there's a lot of just coaching around that.
Yeah. Kristi, so I found you through a panel we're both a part of, or a conference. And one of the things you're really, really good at is content creation. I know a lot of people in the customer experience space are interested in creating content. Both of us have seen the content space really get more crowded and just more busy. What are ways that practitioners can create content? What tips do you have for them around content creation? Because I've seen your stuff, engagement's very high, TikTok and LinkedIn and a lot of video. What's the secret?
Authenticity.
Okay.
I will tell you, for a long time, I really struggled to find my voice. I always tried to use the words and the language and the frameworks that other people were putting out there, right? Folks that were smarter or had been doing this longer. And it took me a long time to be comfortable with who I was and understand that who I was special because I had experiences that other people didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really like started to lean into that and just embrace who I was and my voice and my experiences, the good and the bad. I love my failures as much as I love my successes. And so I found that just creating an authentic voice that was based off of real life experiences that I can share with people really resonated. And so instead of trying to create something that felt overly scripted and overly curated, the more authentic and real I am, the more engagement my content gets. And I think that's just what people are gravitating towards. So instead of things being overly scripted and overly engineered, just share your voice, your thoughts, your opinions. And as long as it's based off of the experiences that you've had and things that you've seen and done, people really love that.
If you don't mind, I would love to hear more about your process of creating content because I think a lot of people feel like they don't have time, they don't know where to start. You seem like a very organized person. How do you work it into your busy schedule?
You're definitely giving me a lot more credit than I deserve. So the way that I think about content, honestly, everything is content. So that's the way I think about it, to be honest with you. Because I am currently a practitioner as a chief customer officer, right? Everything I do, every interaction, everything I'm doing with my team, that's all content, right? That's all valuable stuff. So my content creation is very much like, what is top of mind for me today? What am I doing with my teams? What interactions did I just have with my customers? What feedback or coaching did I have to provide one of my CSMs? What discussion did I have with the VC? Everything I do is content. And so what I do is I package things up into small bite-sized bits. That's something else that I have found is that all of our attention spans have dropped,
Right.
right? So years ago where I would have done like long-winded boot camps and YouTube videos and all of this, people just don't love that. Like TikTok and that like consumption model is the future. And so I've taken all of the content that I do and things I do every day and that's what I design. Honestly, my content is almost sometimes like top of mind that morning, something that happened, an email I got, an interaction that I was part of, and that's what becomes my content. Obviously, I anonymize everything and I try not to give too much specificity, but because it's real and it's something that is current to me and in the moment, again, that authenticity just really shines through. So it makes it super easy.
Yeah, you have the unique position of being a chief customer officer that's also a brand, a marketer. And I think a lot of chief customer officers, they're not as open on LinkedIn. They don't share as much. Was that hard to get used to, like almost documenting your day?
It is, especially, listen, I think that a lot of people still worry about what do their employers think? What are people going to say? How are they being perceived? So you got to get over that. Listen, I follow a ton of influencers, not in our space, but it's like, it's one of those things. They had to get over the fear of judgment. And
Hmm.
I think that's what a lot of us get held up against is that we're like scared. What are people going to think or what are people going to say? And I had to make peace with that. My content won't resonate with everybody. Some people will think my content is garbage and that's all right too, but I'm not creating it for them. I'm creating it for the people that do find value in what I'm sharing, and that's just had to be part of my process and not be hung up on my employer or their opinion, because at the end of the day, my social media channels are mine,
Hmm.
right? My employer doesn't own them. They do not control that. It is my voice. It is my opinion. I've tried to keep it a little church and state and try to keep some of it just all branded around me. So that way anything I say or do, even though it's not bad and it's all valuable and it's all work focused, there has no negative perception on the company, right? It doesn't appear as if it's my company saying this. It's very clear that it's coming from me. So I've just tried to create some church and state there around my thoughts and the content that I'm creating, but also being mindful about the fact that I know that what I do say on the internet does live in perpetuity. It will be out there forever. And, as an employee, there is some level of representation of the brand as well.
So you mentioned earlier in the interview that you thought you would be a CMO and then you moved into the customer space. What do you love about the customer experience space that you wouldn't have gotten had you just focused on marketing?
Honestly, I love the relationships.
Mhm.
So much of what I was doing was like internal and busy work and it's fun. And like, yes, you still get to work creatively with internal team members, but the relationships that I get to build on a daily basis and the volume of that, the conversations I have, the problems I get to solve, that to me is so much more impactful than the work I was doing as a marketer. So I think it's the impact I get to have and the relationships that I get to build. I just really enjoy working with people at that level.
Do you have any thoughts on the SaaS space overall, like with the tech world sort of being in a crunch this year and, a lot of consolidation happening or M&A? Do you have any overall predictions on what's happening in the tech and the customer experience tech space?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to be like consolidate or get consolidated. That is definitely the mindset. I will tell you right now, any customers that we see leave aren't leaving to go to competitive solutions. They are leaving to go and consolidate into a technology that they already have. And so we are a customer success management platform. So most of our customers, if we see them go, they're consolidating into their CRM, something like a Salesforce or a HubSpot. Teams are just really trying to cut back on costs and spend. So what we're trying to do is figure out how do we acquire other companies so we can create this holistic framework that people can use one technology to do it all. And that is a common theme that is not unique to the space that I'm in. A lot of customers that we speak to across multiple industries are seeing the same thing. And I think it just comes down to, unfortunately, the economy, spend, budgets, people being more conservative with how they're spending their money. We're still seeing layoffs, right? So technology is still now trying to be rethought in terms of like how do we drive more efficiency and operationalize process and drive more productivity across teams. So it's just going to continue to be streamlined. So yeah, I don't see consolidation going away as a theme anytime soon.
But you are seeing cuts to client success happening with your customers.
Oh gosh, sadly, yes. I always wonder why it's CS and not sales. That's always a question mark for me. But customer success teams are still being scaled back. What we are seeing, like I said, the focus around AI is really interesting. Now, we're not seeing that there is an idea that AI will replace people. I don't think that there's anybody out there that is suggesting that. But what you are seeing is the ability to drive more efficiency out of the people that you have and increase productivity from the resources that you have with this innovation around technology. And so as companies are scaling back and thinking about their spend, they are cutting back on people and they are trying to figure out how do they leverage technology to drive more efficiency with what's remaining on the team.
But you're still optimistic about the industry, and do you think we'll bounce back from this?
I think that I'm still very bullish. I still think this is a great space and I think it's an important space. The work we do is critical. I don't think that there will be a bounce back
Okay.
because I don't think that we are going to be hiring the way that we were,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think previously there was a lot of this like throw bodies at the problem, and that is not sustainable, right? It's not sustainable for growth. So I think that what this entire, I would say the past couple of years has taught us is that we have to be smarter with the resources that we have. We have to be more thoughtful with how we're investing our money. And so I think we're going to see companies maybe pick up hiring a little bit, but I definitely think that the roles will be different. We'll not see just continued hiring of the same roles. We'll see more specialty. We'll see definitely more creative roles and responsibilities across the orgs and an innovation around tech and how you're adopting it.
Kristi, I think that is so smart. And I think you're right. I love that. I am curious to get to know you more. We have so much in common anyway. We have to work out together sometime. But are you ready
Yes,
to take some rapid fire questions?
I am. I'm
Okay.
terrified, but let's go.
Okay. It hopefully will be painless, Kristi. First question: what is the most important part of your morning routine?
Ooh, my workout. It's the first thing I do every morning. I get up at 4 a.m. My workout starts at 4:45 every single day.
Wow, that is amazing. Good for you. What show are you currently streaming right now?
My favorite one that I'm engaged in is Tell Me Lies, which is on I think it's on Hulu.
Hmm.
But it's season 2 just dropped and I'm waiting for episode 4 to be released right now. So,
What's your idea of perfect happiness?
ooh, me and my husband not working, exercising. And just like being able to like not work and just focus on our fitness. We are both runners, we're avid exercisers, and like one day I just want to retire and just focus on like health and fitness.
Mm-hmm. Got it. What is one mental health strategy for managing hard days?
Taking breaks. I'm very deliberate about taking lunch. I am very deliberate about stopping my day at a certain time. I like to have dinner with my family. And so I think creating boundaries where you create space for yourself in the day is very important.
Mm-hmm. Got it. What is your favorite type of vacation?
A beach or a pool in somewhere sunny and warm. I'm not a tourist. So I know there are beautiful things out there, but I do not want to spend my time off hiking or walking or going to look at anything or sightseeing. Like I want to be relaxing somewhere.
Hmm. Okay. If you could have lunch with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
This is going to be a personal one. So I'm going to say my brother because he passed away 18 years ago. And so if I could have lunch, it would be with him.
Beautiful. And lastly, if you had to describe your outlook in one quick motto, what would it be?
Probably work to live, don't live to work.
Okay. I'm going to add one in because I have gotten to know you a little bit better. What's your favorite type of workout?
Oh gosh, probably like weightlifting. I'm a big runner right now, but I don't love running. I would rather be like heavy squatting, heavy deadlift, like powerlifting. Probably be my preferred workout.
Love it. And if people want to follow you, learn more about you, what's the best way to do that?
So either go to LinkedIn, I can be found by Kristi Faltorusso, or head over to my website, which is just KristiFaltorusso.com, and it has links to everywhere I am.
Awesome. Kristi, this has been so fun. I would love to connect again, have you back, and thanks for doing this.
Oh, thank you so much.
Everybody, you've been tuning into the Modern Customer Podcast. Until next time. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on social media, including Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and more.